to this 10-minute tip on adding multimedia by using the Blackboard Mashups tool. I'll spend the next 10 minutes talking about the tool, and then once I end the recording, Julie, you can ask any questions that you might have. So just to dive in quickly before I get into Blackboard, I wanted to talk about what multimedia content is. It can help enhance your online course, and it provides multiple representations of content for learners who need more than just text, which all of our learners do. And some types of content actually lend themselves better to multimedia content rather than just straight text. There's some things you should consider when using multimedia, such as file size, viewing time, students' bandwidth, and then what and how much of the content you want to convert or to use as multimedia content. And this is talking about content that you both create and also curate. And when we look at the Blackboard mashup, we're going to be looking more at curating materials, which is pulling existing materials into the course rather than making your own. So what are the benefits? You can achieve learning objectives of the course, maybe improve upon how those learning objectives are met. You stimulate different learning styles. You can use it to respond to user feedback. And you can, as the picture shows, you can use it to engage your learner or motivate them. Looking at straight text can get redundant and boring depending on what you're presenting. And then some questions to think about. Usability, does it work? Which format is best suited for the content? Accessibility, can everybody access it regardless of internet speed, computer software, physical limitations such as auditory or visual impairments? Think about whether you're using technology or multimedia content just to use it or because it really is addressing your objectives. And think about what does it do that text can't do. So that was just to get you thinking about multimedia content, and now I'm going to show you how to actually use the mashups in Blackboard. So I'm going to share my screen. So right now you should see my Blackboard course, and before I dive into showing you how to do it, I wanted to show you some examples of what it looks like to students. So this is my announcements page. This is an example of two different ways of integrating YouTube videos into your course. So here in this top example, you'll see where it is embedded. So you see the full video direct here within the screen and can click to play. Or you have the option of having a thumbnail. The benefits of the thumbnail are that it takes up less screen real estate. Often we are trying to put as much on the screen as possible. So sometimes a thumbnail can be nice, and then all students have to do is click on that thumbnail and it pops up that same size video that you saw with the embed. You can do Flickr images and embed different size images, and we'll look at that. And then also Slideshare. And a Slideshare is essentially a PowerPoint that has been uploaded to the web. I've been having issues getting these to load this morning with Adobe Connect running, but they do work for students when you're not running Adobe Connect. But it's essentially a PowerPoint that you upload, and then it's easy to navigate. So this can be nice for thinking about mobile devices, thinking about students that might be using Chromebooks or some of our other newer computers that might not have the full Microsoft Office suite on them. So now let's dive into doing it. Like I said, there are multiple ways of adding mashups in your course. Anywhere that you have the text editor in Blackboard, whether that's announcements, your discussion board, your discussion posts, creating announcements, creating content, you're going to see the same text editor, and within that text editor, in the third row, you're going to see a Mashups button. Sometimes if you're new to Blackboard, your text editor might look like this. All you need to do is come over to the right side, click this little chevron symbol, and expand the menu so that you see all of the text editing options. From here, you look for where it says Mashups, and you click the little drop-down arrow to the right of that. And this is where you have your options for mashups. So your Flickr Photo, your Slideshare presentation, YouTube video, and Atomic Learning. And now I'm going to show you a YouTube video. it pops up this screen which gives you a search window. I, for my demonstrations, always use Tigger because I like Tigger, and I know that this first video that is shown is something that is legit and doesn't include any content that I wouldn't want to show during a demo. From here, once you type in your search, you can also put in, if you know the YouTube URL, you could paste that directly in there and it will go straight to your YouTube video. If you know the exact title, again, I would recommend typing that into the search so that you get to your video as quickly and easily as possible. Or just doing a search for videos and you're not sure of the exact video yet, you can type in your search and then you have this option to preview the videos. And you can just click preview until you find the video that you like. I like to use this wonderful thing about Tiggers, so then I click select. From here I have a few different options. Again, on that first screen I showed you the difference between a thumbnail and embedding the video. I like to use thumbnail and it's the default, so it's easy to just keep it there. I always keep it at no, don't show the YouTube URL, and I actually like it to say no, don't show the YouTube information, which is this bit of information right here. I just find that it's kind of distracting and it takes away from what I'm trying to share about the video, because I usually put my videos, or I always put my videos in context, and so I want to provide some of my own text and don't want students getting confused between that and the YouTube information. Once you're ready, you either choose to preview what it will look like in your announcement, your discussion post, your assignment, your text, or you can go ahead and click submit. And I've clicked submit, and now you can see where my video has been embedded in the screen. I'm going to go ahead and space down and show you what a Flickr photo looks like and the screen share presentation as well in our last couple of minutes. So again, with a Flickr photo, it's drawing on the Flickr website, where it pulls on essentially any images that a person has uploaded to the internet or to Flickr itself that are not copyrighted. So these images are generally available for you to use in your course. So I'm going to look up the same example of the one I had embedded in my course already, which was St. Scholastica. I thought it was. There we go. And again, you have the options to preview, to select, and you can also, as you scroll down, you'll see where you have the option to page over and see more pages of images. I'm going to go ahead and select this Heavenly Sky one. Select. Again, you have some options to choose from. Here again, you have the thumbnail option, or to I like to edit the photo because then I have this option to choose the size. Sometimes it's better to err on the side of bigger rather than smaller for some of these, and then you can resize it once it's in the screen. However, if you pick one that's already small and you want to make it bigger, it will end up being kind of pixelated, and you'll want to come back in and choose a larger size and then shrink it. So it's better to have too big and go small rather than have too small and try to go bigger. So here you can see my photo. If I click on the photo, you'll see that I get these little arm drags, and this is where I can choose to resize my image to make it smaller. And you can also see where if I try to make it bigger, it starts to kind of distort the image. This one not quite as bad as some others that I've tried to use recently, which is nice. And then the last option was for that Slideshare. Again, you have your option to type in text, and this is pulling on the Slideshare website where people have uploaded their PowerPoints, and again, these are free for you to use. Again, letting students know that you did not create this and that it was created by somebody else. You will see that there is a Creative Commons licensure saying that some of the Slideshares might not be available for you to use, so just make sure that you're conscientious of that, and again, just give credit where credit is due. So that is it for our 10-minute tip session. So I hope you enjoyed learning about the Blackboard mashups and about adding